Hello, welcome to another episode of the Conscious Cruiser. That's right, it's episode 37 coming up today. And today, our Conscious Cruiser cast is Scott from Controversial Cruising, Alisa from Alisa's Adventures in Cruising. I'm Chet from Sea Lake Journeys, and we're going to be talking today about the no before you go approach to cruising multiple cruise lines. What is the benefit? We'll be right back after this.
Welcome into the Conscious Cruiser podcast, the know before you go approach to cruising and travel. The smartest cruiser is the Conscious Cruiser. And your conscious casters, Alisa, Chet, and Scott.
How about that? We got the names right. All three of us are here today.
We're all here. The gang's all here.
Present.
Yeah, one day they're going to trick us and say, hey, Scooby, Shaggy, and Dino are here.
And one day we're going to do this thing live on a cruise ship, all three of us together.
Yes.
Well, that'd be something.
That will be awesome.
We can call it on location since it won't be our first time ever to do it on a cruise ship together. So on location.
On location.
That's true. That's true. Live on the ship.
That's
That
it.
would be better. Well, speaking of ships, we got some cruise conversation to talk about today.
Mhm.
And, we're talking about multiple cruise lines.
Oh.
Have you ever been on multiple cruise lines? If you haven't, maybe we can talk you into thinking about that this morning. So our first question of the day is pick your favorite. What is your favorite cruise line to cruise with and why? And of course, we always start our episode off with ladies first. Alisa, this should be no surprise to you.
I don't know why I fall for this every week, but I do. I do. I think well, I know my current favorite is Royal Caribbean. I really like their shows. I like the entertainment that they do. I just feel like they do a really good job. The production value is definitely there. And I also think they give you really nice service, really great service. So that's why they're my personal favorites. But I love to cruise. So I'm open. I'm open. I'm willing to try others.
So what cruise lines have you been on besides Royal Caribbean to compare to?
I've been on Carnival, of course, but way back when I was on the Big Red Boat. Then I've been on Disney Cruise Lines. I've been on Royal. I've been on. I'm missing somebody. NCL. I've been on NCL. That was a while. Oh, MSC. MSC. Oh my goodness. Yes, I've been on MSC.
I know you've been on MSC. I was fixing to say, come on, Alisa.
Did you see me? I was like counting. I'm missing somebody.
Okay, Scott, let us know. First off, you could tell us too what cruise lines you've had to compare also, and which one is your favorite currently. I know that's subject to change daily, but what's your favorite one currently and why?
Well, I know it's no surprise to everybody that I had just gotten off World America. But first, I will let you guys know I've had many cruises on Carnival Cruise Lines, probably about 30, I think it was like 35 or 36 or so. Some aren't documented from back when they didn't have the VIFP program. I've also been on Norwegian way back in the day. I've also been on Royal way back in the day before they had these big massive ships. I'm talking when I was like, 8, 9, 10, 11 with my parents. I've also been on Holland America too as well. One of my first cruise lines actually going on Holland America. And I actually really remember that one because it was a whole family reunion cruise. And I just remember my mom telling me, I had to have all my dress up stuff every night. We were all dressed up. I had a different suit or different,
we need pictures.
Shirt.
We need to see little Scott all dressed up. We need pictures.
I have some of those pictures. I will definitely show you guys. But recently, I definitely have to say with everything that had happened with Carnival, me going on MSC had really opened my eyes to first impressions for cruise lines. And really what I mean, I'm a big first impression guy, right? So I had never been on MSC before. I did status match, I think 7 or 8 months ago when it was really hot. So I am platinum on Carnival and it transferred over to gold on MSC. I didn't really know what that was. I was scrolling through the benefits, but of course, before going on the cruise lines, you're like, okay, the F1 Voyager for 100% off. I don't even know what the F1 Formula Voyager, whatever it may be. I'm like, thermal spa. I was like, what is it? You take pictures in the spa? I was like, what is that? Right. So you don't really know until you go right on the cruise. But with all of those things that were on my account as a gold member, I really felt when I stepped on that ship that I was actual gold, right? From the service that I got, from being able to do the F1 racer for free, which I didn't get to do, being able to do the thermal spa for free for 1 hour, also getting 20% off in the MSC logo shop. So it brought a bunch of stuff back. And I mean, there was just so many other benefits there. We got a nice little gold gift, or whatever you call it, gold gift on your pillow on the last night. So you didn't have to go to any gift shop or photo shop and show anything and get it. Nice. Right. So I really felt like this first impression for MSC. And they know, obviously, when you're a first-time cruiser, to kind of put that first impression on. But they really put those first impression shoes on for me. And I left that ship feeling like I was gold, like truly feeling like I was gold. Nice. And I want to climb this ladder. I want to climb this MSC ladder. So MSC right now is my favorite. Even though I will be on other Carnival ships, I'm not canceling any of my Carnival cruises, but MSC right now is kind of the front runner for me.
Awesome, man. Good reasons right there. We've been on 6 lines: Carnival, obviously, Princess, Royal Caribbean, MSC, Virgin, and Norwegian. So we've had plenty of time to look at these and really compare what they have. And right now, currently, like I say, how it could change. You know how it is. Yes. Your next ship is your favorite ship. We always say that. But if I could only cruise one cruise line again, like I always say, it would be Princess. And I just love everything about them. I love the vibe there. As Robin from Sea Lake Journey says, the relaxed atmosphere, and the food is fantastic, and the great entertainment. And it just has everything that we're looking for in a vacation. And that's why today we're talking about this, though, guys, because there's a lot for you to experience across all these different cruise lines. There's some that we haven't been on yet, either between the 3 of us, that I'm sure we'll all get out there and check out one day, because you want to experience what they have so you can compare, and you don't have to just stick with one. You can have more than one favorite. But right now, I would pick Princess as my personal favorite, and so did Robin from Sea Lake Journeys, by the way.
I am definitely curious about that line, Chet. I've seen a lot of Princess vlogs. I've seen your Princess vlogs, and I can see how that vibe on that ship definitely matches you guys. And I feel like I'm kind of like in the same way. I kind of like to chill and relax. I may not sit on the beach for 7 hours, but I do like to chill and relax and kind of like freestyle cruise. And hey, good food. You got me with food. I'm there.
Yeah. Food is incredible. I can eat a different fish every day, a different fish. And I love fish. I don't eat it at home, so I know I can get a different fish every day if I want. I love that. Good fish, by the way. Hey, we'll move on to question number 2, though, because we got some good questions on here. This is a great topic. Know before you go, do loyalty and rewards mean anything to you when you sail? Do those loyalty and rewards mean anything to you? We're going to start over with Scott on this one, because I think you kind of touched on it already a little bit.
I mean, this is a tough one, right? Because everybody wants to be, in a sense, recognized, right, for some sort of loyalty, right? And that's kind of like a broad statement, right? But everybody wants to feel wanted. Everybody wants to feel needed, right? And I think it's kind of like this whole, how much do I spend on the cruise versus how much, how many days do I actually travel? And for me, I think any cruise vacation, right? I'll just say this, any cruise vacation is what you make of it, right? So I don't think any loyalty program or any gift or anything should really dictate the way that you cruise, right? Now, of course, if you have been treated by a certain cruise line out, a different way for so many years, and now you're not, I can see it broadening your horizons to go out and try other things, right? And really open your eyes to what else could really be out there. But for me, I think it's more on the experience, and I think it's more on the vibe. I think the loyalty and all the other stuff is kind of like a cherry on top. I really just am excited to see what else is out there now that I guess loyalty for some companies aren't as big as others. And I really think it's opening a lot of us cruisers, season cruisers and non-season cruisers. I think it's really opening our eyes.
I agree.
Interesting.
What do you think, Alisa?
Yeah, I mean, I do think that we, especially if you've been on more than one cruise, you kind of get attached. Like you said, every new ship is your favorite. Like you get attached to the ship, you get attached to the cabin, you get attached to the crew. So that becomes part of, the nostalgia for you, and you're always trying to like relive that great experience again. You want to go on another cruise because you want to have that experience again. And so I feel like that's part of the loyalty. You had this amazing time on whatever cruise line. I'll say Carnival, but you say you had this amazing time on Carnival, and so when you go back, you feel confident. You are expecting to have that same great time, and I don't really think people are going back on the ships for the gifts per se, maybe except for laundry. People love that laundry perk. But I do think that they feel or want to feel that the companies are recognizing that they have been loyal and appreciate them coming back, not just for the dollars. We all know it's a company and they're all there, corporation, and they're there to ultimately make money, but it becomes such a part of your memory, your family's vacation experience. You want to believe that they are genuinely happy to see you and not just your wallet. So I think I think, not to get too much into that topic again, but I do think that they've missed the mark on that and kind of taken people for granted. Not capturing on all the reasons that people have been so loyal and have continued coming back and back and back.
Correct. Now, I do want to ask. I'll add one question to that, and kind of like a curveball, right? I'll sit and I'll play the devil's advocate, since I guess I'm wearing a Carnival Cruise Line sweatshirt. But okay, so if I'm sitting on both sides of the fence, right? You know that old saying, like, you don't know what you have until it's gone, right?
Mhm.
Because when we had the packing cubes and the little fanny bags and the diamond platinum party and all that stuff, right? I would continually see people complaining about it. Oh, John, the drinks are watered down. Oh, I got to go to the photo shop to get my gift. Oh, you only give us 15% here. I don't get any free drinks, right? So I continually see people, when we had the perks at the high, right? Or maybe not the high, but we had the perks, right? Kind of complaining about them. Now that they're like kind of being taken back, like actually taken back, now they're like, I lived for the diamond and platinum party. I'm like, dude, 4 months ago, you were on the internet complaining about the diamond and platinum party. And now you're like, real up and on because they finally took it from you. Like, is it like this whole, like, we only miss it now because it's really gone and they're like threatening us to like take it? Or did you guys like it all along, but you just like kind of wanted to make it better, so you wanted to complain a little bit? Like, I don't know. I'm just trying to sit on kind of both sides of the spectrum there.
Yeah, I mean, maybe people felt like, there was always something more that they could get or should get because they have been this loyal and true and, faithful cruiser with them. But, I think it is human nature to complain. So, it's like, yeah, maybe I said some stuff about it, but I still expected the stuff.
I didn't like the stuff, but I wanted it.
Like the stuff, but it was my stuff, and now you're telling me it's not mine. It's
Here's my
mine.
stuff that I don't want. Well, I gotta tell you what, me and Robin from Sea Lake Journeys had a good discussion about this question too, right? And one of the comments that came up between us was, it doesn't seem to mean anything to the cruise lines. This loyalty and rewards mean anything to you when you sail. It's meaning less and less to the cruise lines. Why? Because they're sailing. Every ship that sails is over 100% capacity full across the lines. MSC, Norwegian, Carnival, you name it. They're all sailing full, every sailing. And so it's like, hey, we got plenty of loyalty.
Right. But
We
the
got-
people but the people who helped them get there, the cruisers who have come back all this time, it would Chet, you'll remember, they used to, I don't want to say begging, but they were like really asking for people to come and cruise. And I'm talking about way back
yes.
before the pandemic. And so they have built up this loyalty. All the cruise lines have built up this loyalty and wanting people to come back and have these amazing vacations experiences, which they have done.
Right.
So to now act like, well, yeah, we're here now. Nobody wants to feel like they've been forgotten once the friend, the brother, the cousin, whoever has arrived,
It's
So
a whole demographic change too, though. I
yeah,
remember we could not cruise. We never could dream of affording even a 3-day cruise until
yeah,
we were 40 years old.
right.
Okay, we just didn't have the kind of income that we could even do that. So our first cruise was a 4-day cruise. We had to save up for that. Had one
Yeah,
stop, Cozumel. But
yeah.
now, and that's why the ships were always full of so many older people. Their kids were
That's who
grown,
could afford it.
grandkids were grown. They had money. They had made it to the top of their career. They at their best income level, and they could go do this stuff. Well, now I get on ships, and there's 20-year-old people with their kid and their girlfriend's kid and their cousin. I mean,
Yeah,
just everybody can afford to go cruising. I say everybody. It seems like everybody can afford to go
right.
on a cruise now. So you got a much bigger pool of people to draw from than back when you only had a pool this big. You had to kind of come on, come spend your
Come
money.
on,
Now the
come
pool is
on.
this big. It's like, you know,
Yeah,
prices have not gone down on cruising. I think for that reason. But
yeah,
back to our original question, though, do the loyalty and rewards mean anything to you? We really had a good conversation about this because we thought, talking about the diamond and platinum parties and all that stuff, did we really go to them anymore? Sometimes we didn't. We just didn't care. We just like, no, we've been to 30 of them. It doesn't matter anymore. And as far as the other things, like I've mentioned before on other shows, where we're platinum and we're embarking on the ship, you're supposed to get priority embarkation. Well, there's so many platinum people and elites that they can't do it. So you're not getting priority anything anyway.
yeah,
So it doesn't, to us, it's like, well, I don't matter. I'm having to sit back here with, the red cards anyway. Might as well be a red card. So the answer for us came up to be, no, really don't matter anymore. We look more now towards what kind of package deal can we get more so
hmm
than status. If I can get a great package deal over here, and me and Scott had a conversation before the show, but we'll save that for another episode, y'all. And discussing sometimes a package deal. What difference does it matter what status? You're going to get on the ship.
Right.
Yeah, I'm on there 30 minutes behind somebody else, but so what? So what? I've got a great package deal. That's why I chose this cruise. It doesn't matter what my status is because I got a better deal over here than I did over there.
hmm
Apples and apples.
Now,
Right?
I have another question for both of you. As
Okay.
my brain is just
This is
continuing
great.
to
I
go.
love
Right?
it.
Have you guys ever heard of what they call like the Verizon or the Cox triple play? Have you ever heard of the triple
Yeah.
play, right? Where it's this like you sign up, right, for let's say 3 years, and the first 2 years you get like an introductory low price. It's like $33 for like the first year, the second year, but then the third year it jumps up to like their original 129, but they got you in the contract, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
My question to you guys is, do you guys think now, because of the younger cruisers like Chet was alluding to, and, obviously the 20-year-olds with their families and the younger cruisers being able to afford it, do you feel like this dip in price, right? Or this kind of like, hey, come cruise with us now is kind of like an introductory low price to get all of those cruisers to feel like they can afford to cruise, and then like 2-3 years it's going to go back up to where, I mean, it wasn't really ever but back up to kind of like the normal cruising rate, which Chad, Alisa, and myself were kind of used to 10-ish so years ago. Kind of the whole like history repeats itself. So I'm wondering if the cruise lines kind of dipped this, right, to get those newer cruisers into a subscription. Like, you mean you go on a ship and you're like,
Yeah.
I never want to go back. Said no one ever, right? You 20-something goes on a cruise and they're like, babe, oh my God, Lucy had so much fun and I had so much fun and we got to dance. Let's do it again next April. And it's like, okay, babe, put away $100 a week and we can do it. right? And now you got them. Now you got them. Now Lucy becomes 21, 24, 25, 29, right? And then little Lucy becomes like 10, 15, 20. And she's like, I want to go on with my friends. I can do this too, right? And now you're kind of making these like younger cruisers become seasoned cruisers and diamond and all that other stuff as they climb. But I'm wondering, this dip in price now, I agree with you guys, right? It seems affordable for everybody to cruise, even if you weren't and you were you could never imagine to cruise before. There is some kind of Margaritaville or Carnival or something out there where you can get on a payment plan or afford it or something and just get your toes on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
I think it's the lowest that it's ever been in the last, well, maybe not right out of the pandemic, but like after the pandemic, this is kind of the lowest that I've ever seen it to get on a ship. So I'm just wondering what you guys think about that.
I mean, I feel like they've always had offers and deals to try and entice people to come on and to fill the ships. But I think that what is happening now, as far as the amount of younger people who are able to go and want to go cruising, is just kind of a happy accident for them. I don't think that was their plan. I think that they really were marketing, come on, make this your annual vacation, your family vacation, and wanted to build the loyalty. Society has changed. The world has changed. I get that. And I think that they are trying to capture on those changes, but I don't think that was the original plan. I think I hate to say it, but I think it's become more of a money grab right now, where it's just like, get them on. And if they don't come back, we'll get a whole nother set next year.
Time will tell.
Time will tell. What do you think, Chet? Because you've seen it too.
Yeah, I do expect they will change. It probably, cruise lines are watching, what other cruise lines are doing, and they're seeing what's being successful. Some cruise lines are dropping like loyalty, going to, status, how much you're spending. And other ones are, selling 3 and 4 day cruises for what a 7-day cruises cost on other lines.
Yeah.
They're checking all different strategies. And right now, all the strategies are working. Everything's working. So they're still scratching their heads thinking, well, everything's working right now. So they probably don't know where to go from there either. But
let's move this to here and this to there. And
that's why they're all doing slightly different stuff. We're dropping status. Well, we're matching status. Well, we're charging double on our cruises, and we're charging less. And it's all working. Tell me it ain't all working. All the ships are full everywhere.
The ships are full.
Every strategy's working. It's like it's a no-lose scenario for the cruise lines. So who knows what strategy they'll end up coming up with, because they've got no direction to go really based on what's going on right now, because everything is working. Everything.
And I also think us content creators and friends are also helping, right? Because we're in the world of social media, right? So you're scrolling, you're like, oh, wait, Alisa's on a cruise? That looks so cool. And then you're like, hey, Alisa, you go cruising? Like, yeah, I do. This is like my 40th cruise. Alisa goes cruising. I want to go cruising too. Right. So you just see it all over the place.
Yep. Everybody's cruising.
Everybody's cruising.
All right, guys. Hey, we'll take a quick break here because we have a fantastic, awesome sponsor of this channel, and we want to show you who that awesome sponsor is.
This episode of The Conscious Cruiser is sponsored and supported by Alisa's Adventures in Cruising and the Monday Mood Check. Check out the Monday Mood Check every Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific and 7 p.m. Eastern. For some exciting cruise talk, munch pack reviews, and even some home cooking. So start of your week right every week with Alisa and the Monday Mood Check. Don't miss it. And now back to the Conscious Cat.
All right. Wasn't that awesome? Our sponsor today is Alisa's Adventures in Cruising. Hey, where can you find her? I'll tell you what, you can find her tonight at 7 p.m. Get on over there, y'all, and check out Alisa's Adventures in Cruising. I'm going to beat Scott there tonight because
I'm already there, Chet. I'm already there.
Oh, man.
Plenty of room, people. Plenty of room. Come on in. Come on in.
And don't forget to check out the Conscious Cruiser episode 37. Well, you're watching it right now here on YouTube, here at Sea Lake Journeys. But if you're not, you can check it out on Spotify. Spotify, y'all. Get in your car and drive around the block and listen to us. Go down and get an ice cream cone, do something, because we sound better on the radio than we do on YouTube, or maybe we sound better on YouTube. You do both. Let us know.
Let us know.
Hey, we're moving on to our next question, guys. This is a good one too, y'all. In your opinion, should cruise lines go by onboard spending, or how much you're spending on the cruise, or by sailing days to show loyalty? Which one should the cruise lines look at? Oh, you sail a lot with us, or oh, you spend a lot with us. Which one should they be looking at? Which one? Who wants to go first on this? I'm just throwing it up in the air.
You go, Scott.
I'm really torn. I'm really torn in between that. I really think there should be some kind of calculated formula between sea days and onboard spending. Obviously, we know cruise lines are in the business to make money, right? But it also kind of feels like a money grab with, hey, you got to spend this amount of money to gain this status or get this or do that. It feels more like a credit card reward program than anything else, right? It doesn't really feel like a loyalty program. It just feels like you're paying your way. And of course, just as in life, if you have money, you can pay your way into doing anything in life, right? As long as you got enough of the capital. So for me, I was always kind of brought up with the whole sea days, right? The nights at sea or the days at sea, right? You get 796, you get to be, double squeaky, dirty belt platinum or whatever it may be. So I think it should be, kind of an in-between, but I know that is just not ever going to happen. So I have to go back to what I know, and I have to go to the sea days. I really just think that it should be nights on board, because I think you're going to spend money on board anyway, even if it's just $6 or $5, right? It's going to end up building up. You're going to have a drink. You're going to fall into the casino. It's going to happen, right? So I just think nights on board to me mean more than actual spending, but I'm a guest. I'm not a cruise company. So
how about it, Alisa? What's your opinion?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty similar to Scott in that way, and I feel like the return trips should mean something. And just by nature of you coming back on any one of their cruise ships, you've spent money. I mean, I've never been given one. We're open to that, future sponsors, but I've never been given one. I've always paid something to get on a ship, and that shouldn't be seen as, not worth much to the company. It should be worth something. Now, does that mean that you open up some tiers, some mini tiers? Like once you have come on the cruise, a cruise so many times, now you have access to purchase these different experiences or tours or something along those lines that they could still monetize, but not make you feel like your efforts to get back to them was not worth it. I just think it should be some kind of a combo.
Good point.
Yeah, well, I'll be the devil's advocate again.
It's okay, Chet. It's okay.
Whoever hosts the show has the last ending a question, and we always have to swap our answers. But no, I'm going to look at it as a business standpoint. How much recognition are you getting from Walmart? None. How much recognition are you getting at the gas station or the grocery store? None. Zero.
I get rewards at my gas station.
And the grocery store.
Too, but I had to put my phone number in. Yeah, I saved 7 cents a gallon the other day. I saved 35 cents.
Yeah,
35 cents, a big savings, right? But rewards is usually what you get for shopping. Nobody recognizes you for coming in the store. Nobody else in the world. You go to car shopping. They don't care if you bought a car there 5 years ago. They don't care. The grocery store don't care if you was there yesterday and spent $100 on groceries. You're just another customer walking in. What are you going to spend today? So loyalty is looked at in how much are you spending in a lot of businesses. And, not so much on how many times you came in, because you can have people go there 10 times and spend $100, or you can have a guy walk in one time and spend $500. And who's the guy you're going to run to greet when he walks in your store? Well, $500 spender again. Hey, let me show you aisle 7. You know what I mean? This guy's already coming in every day and spending $10. I ain't got to worry about him. But this guy coming over here is coming in once a month and spending $500. I got to get a hold of him. So
Good
that's
point,
where they're
Chet.
looking from a standpoint of loyalty. And also look at it as the standpoint already, what's been going on for years in cruising. If you book a suite, what happens? You get the priority boarding. Sometimes you get the free Wi-Fi, you get the free specialty dining, you get a lot of extra perks with buying a suite, booking a suite that you would have got if you had been an elite or a diamond or whatever cruiser. And why did they recognize that? It's because the amount of money they're spending coming on board. So I see it from both sides. They've already been kind of doing it with the people who book suites. Can be their only cruise they've ever been on in their life, and they're going to get treated as the same as that guy that's been on 100 cruises, and has got all that status built up. But guess who's walking in line right beside you? The guy on his very first cruise because he booked a suite. It's the way. It's the way of the world. It's reality. Sure, we like to be recognized for being a frequent customer. Hey, I recognize you. But and I get that, and I think that's a valid point. Should there be some kind of hybrid situation like Scott and Alisa? I think so too. I have to say, can't there be a merging of this somehow? If cruise lines can figure out a way to do that, they'll be the first business in the world that has figured it out. So let's get some brilliant minds. Maybe they can hire the Conscious Cruiser to come in. We'll be your think tank, okay? And we'll figure this out for you, cruise lines, but it's going to cost you. That's right. We got free cruises for life.
I like it, Chet.
Hey, this is really a controversial subject that's come up, and people who have loyalty are mad that their loyalty is going to disappear because they can't spend enough to keep it. I can't. I'm going to be a red card cruiser, and I'm a platinum right now. This close to diamond, but I'm going to be a red card. But you know what? Like Scott, I'm not canceling my Carnival cruises. I'm still going to cruise. But it's a good topic to talk about, something to think about. And the new cruisers coming on who book a suite are saying, well, I'm spending a lot of money. I should get the recognition. I get that point too. Yeah. And we all have to understand all the points of view and try to figure out the best solution for ourselves. What can we live with? Do I want to be recognized on my status? If this cruise line won't do it, maybe that one will.
It's about managing expectations too. The cruise lines have, like we said, have spent so much time and energy encouraging the loyalty, suggesting that they had our loyalty too for the rest of our cruise lives, and to take that away is what I think is really getting at people.
It's a bitter pill.
It's a bitter pill. It is a bitter pill. So
I agree. It is. I mean, the way platinum was going to disappear, and yet so now I'll be a higher status on MSC and Virgin that I matched, and even though it'll only be the second cruises or whatever, third cruises I've been on them with. So, but you know what? It leaves us to make our own decisions of what we're going to do.
Yeah,
that's right.
What we're going to do, and that's what everybody's waiting to see. Right now, the ships are still filling up. So, and the stocks, by the way, I don't know if y'all follow the stocks, but they're Royal Caribbean and Norwegian, Carnival are going up fast.
Stockholders want to make money too. Yeah,
like a rocket. Yeah. Okay. Hey, our last question of the cast, though, guys. Let's turn it around here. What is a cruise line you have never been on that you want to try? What's a cruise line that you've never been on, but you got to try it? And what is it about that cruise line that's appealing to you? What is it about it that's calling your name? Alisa, come try my cruise line out. You're going to love it.
I was gonna say, and this is true. I was gonna say celebrity, but that's still like in the Royal line, the Royal company, Royal Caribbean International.
It's still separate though.
It's separate, but I'm gonna change it up a little bit, and I'm gonna say Virgin Voyages, because I am curious about them, and I'm hearing lots of good things, and not so many outrageous things about them lately. So I am curious to get on and see what that cruise experience is like.
How about it, Scott? Which one's next for you?
Well, I am going to reach down this way and just take from Alisa there. And I will say, I was actually going to say Celebrity Cruises. My good friend Richard and I were talking. I had just gotten off a cruise with him. And I think next year we are planning on going on a celebrity cruise. I do thank you, Richard, for taking me on these wonderful experiences. I got to go on MSC. Next cruise that has actually nothing to do with Richard, I will be trying Norwegian Cruise Lines for the Rock and Roll Cruise. And then once 2026 rolls around and Scott has a little bit more PTO, because we gotta take into PTO for Scott.
Yeah.
I will be going on Celebrity. So you definitely have that to look forward to. I am excited to try that brand. I am excited to see what the Celebrity and Royal brand has to offer, since I haven't been on in 18 years now. How old am I? Now probably like 23 years, about 23 years. So I'm excited.
All right. Well, hey, I got two answers, of course. Me, there's somebody I want to try. Probably the next one, new one I might try. Might be Margaritaville next year, because I got a free one coming up. So that'll probably be the next one for me.
Wait, free?
So glad you said that, Chet. Yes.
I'm gonna try it.
Okay, go for it.
I've watched your videos, Scott. It looks like a good time to me. I got to go try it for myself. Can an old handicapped guy go on Margaritaville? That'll make a great series of vlogs, I think.
Just wasting away again.
But Robin from Sea Lake Journeys, her answer, dig this, y'all. She wants to get on an expeditionary cruise like National Geographic and go to the Antarctic. So
that's the big explorer. I can see Robin now in one of those big old hooded parkas with the fur.
She'll freeze to death, but she'll love it. She'll have my love to keep her warm.
Yes, there you go.
That's something that I've always been curious about. Obviously, I cannot afford it at this moment in time, but those smaller expedition cruises that go to these, remote places that you never even hear. No, you're not going to Cozumel. No, you're not going to Bimini, right? You're going like places that I can probably even pronounce that you're
Galapagos Islands.
Those islands. Yep. Exactly. Antarctica. Yep. So Chet, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just can't afford it. But once upon a time, we couldn't afford a cruise.
Someday.
Guys, we've had a fantastic episode here. Hopefully all of our listeners out there on Spotify and on YouTube have gotten some great advice, entertainment, whatever you want to call it out. If you have, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to us on Spotify and on all three of our YouTube channels. We sure appreciate it. And anybody got any last word? Otherwise, I'm going to turn it over to goodbyes.
I would just say, if any of our listeners, right, whether they're on Spotify or on YouTube, have a topic for us that they would really like us to cover. We're about 37-ish episodes in now. And we've covered a lot. If you go to our Spotify list or you go to our YouTube list, right, you can see all of the different topics that we've covered. But if there's something that either you want us to redo again, or you say, hey, Conscious Cruisers, you haven't covered this, and I would really like to hear your guys' point of view, please put it in the comments, email us, message us, just let us know. And we want to really listen to our viewers, and we really want to continue to make this podcast obviously about you guys, right, the listeners and the viewers, but we want to continue to build this up and make this really, really big and really, really awesome.
I would just say thank you to everybody for listening and watching, and to just keep on cruising. There's so many cruise lines out there, and if loyalty isn't a thing for you or for them, but you still enjoy cruising, just get on whatever ship floats your boat. Whichever one tickles your fancy, whichever one sounds good, looks good, just go for it. Cruising is still an amazing vacation, and I don't see any of us stopping that anytime soon if we can help it.
No.
There you go, guys. On behalf of Scott from Controversial Cruising, Alisa from Alisa's Adventures in Cruising, I'm Chet from Sea Lake Journeys, and we will see you next time.
Bye, guys.